Hello everyone, welcome back to another Natred review. Today I'm going to be looking at some footage from a couple of fighters who I believe are out of Independence, Kansas. This was sent to me earlier tonight, and I guess this was recorded today on 8/7/24. And yeah, a fellow named Rum Warden reached out to me and asked if I would review it, and I'd love to. So on the left here, we have Tarbh, who is fighting with what appears to be a 24-ish inch punch round. And I believe he has the 40-inch Gorg super long bat because he's a man of culture as well. And on the right here we have Thalia, who Rumwarden described to me as a new fighter. I'll take a look at this. Apparently it's first to 5-2 rounds. Let's see how it goes.
First to five, Tarbh on the left, Thalia on the right. Go.
Love me a good intro.
One.
Coming into the butt, picking up the first win here for Tarbh. Respect a good butt wrap a whole lot. I think that one of the things that I picked up the most from SKBC this year was learning really how to use my punch shield in a way that played into the strengths of the gear selection pretty heavily. And what we see Tarbh here on the left doing, I'm probably going to be spending a little more time focusing on as the more experienced fighter, is that we're using this punch shield in a way where it's just mimicking a strap shield. And this is fine. This can be elusive, but you can do a lot of fun stuff with punch shields. You can put them down low. You can extend them. I do like this little quick, crisp 1-2. It's very easy to just manipulate punches on newer fighters who aren't used to keeping them really rigid. Pick up shots like this. Clean booty. Oh, we're down an arm. Oh, we must have missed some things. Okay, there's our clean ass shot.
One Tarbh.
Yeah, coming over the top. It's hard to win when you're down an arm versus board. Well, this is very fancy, right? So, this is the kind of shot I've been seeing make the rounds recently. We gotta clean up how much forearm is getting stuck out here. It's easy, especially on these really long, elaborate setups, to just get sniped mid-motion. Fortunately for Tarbh here, it looks like Thalia is a little bit hesitant, wants to back up and get out of the way. I think it's probably also incorrect to throw this shot backhanded, because that's going to be pretty weak. I think what you want to do, ideally, is instead of bringing your sword, let's go forward in time here, instead of like bringing your sword in the circular motion like he does, and then you got backhand here, just come back up here and throw a flat wrap. Just from here, just extend forward and turn your hand inwards, rotate that shoulder inwards and throw flat. You're going to get more angle coming down. You'll be able to do rolling over. This is also going to put a lot more stress on the joints in your arm and wrist. And you have a chance to throw your shield or throw your weapon across the field like a dingus. This also isn't very well set up. This is definitely like trying to throw this cold to get a clean kill, but there's no reason that this shot should be available, right? Like there's nothing happening that's going to make Thalia move his shield out of the way. we haven't shown Thalia anything that's going to make him think like, okay, I need to move my shield down and away from my shoulder. So one of the ways you can set these up pretty easily is look at this motion. This looks like a leg shot, right? This is why I think leg shots are underrated, because this kind of motion here, if you can threaten your opponent with it, then they'll start dragging their shield down, and we get a little bit of commitment on the shield out of Thalia here, but not a lot. Does a pretty good job of keeping his shield up where it needs to be. Also, we're really far out in range, so we can like kind of threaten this and make this happen more regularly by selling leg shots early. Like just from out here, just throw a leg shot, bam, pop back. Just throw a leg shot, bam, pop back. And then go, okay, and now when he overcommits to block the leg shot, we come up and we land the pretty thing. Rather than just, how do I say this? Like, I kind of shorthand it to like throwing shots with intention, or that have intention behind them or a meaning behind them. What I would mean is that instead of just like thinking from way out here, well, I don't know, this seems like a good idea. What we would do is we back up in time. From way out here, we think for whatever reason, that's an area of the body I want to attack. This is a shot that I want to throw. How do I set this up to make sure this shot's going to land? So if we're thinking here, okay, I want to land this crazy big circle like lead up to a shoulder shot, then we would take these further step back and say, how do I mindfully, intentionally set up that shot? We can do it by throwing something low quarter before going into it cold. I do like the attempted pickup on the leg. However, you got to be super careful. This is a big reach. I feel like Tarbh is trying really hard to be a really long and rangy fighter through a weapon choice, and look at how far like we're reaching here. Very easy to get sniped out. Sorry, I'm coughing, guys. One of the things that I've been thinking a lot, just like a phrase I've been keeping in my head, is you want to keep your knees like you don't want to ever be this far out over your toe, right? Like, and I think it's different for people based on their fitness level and how much they weigh. Like, I'm a big fat dude. I can barely get my knees over my toes, or else like my momentum is just all going forward. Look how far off balance we end up here. Yeah, so there's this old phrase I heard called like "you reach, I teach." Imagine like Thalia was a more confident fighter and wasn't backing out here. He could have stayed in the pocket and even soaked the leg shot and picked up like a back or something. Ooh, a little bit of aggression. Good, good. This is something that's so hard for new fighters to get over. Is like how do I switch from trying to touch somebody to actually trying to hit somebody? Because like this is like a touch, right? This is like if I put my fist on your face versus like punching you, you know? Like we want to be like snapping our shots out. Pelling can probably fix that. Block striking can probably fix that. This is a neat little thing that Tarbh does. This little step here. I like how he's kind of priming his feet back here. Yeah, so this is a good read. Coming in, the like jump into range and stopping all of a sudden and posting another you're gonna fight. This hand's nice and high. Thalia overreacts, bringing the shield up high to block the high quadrant. Gets hit in the butt again. So here, if we're
I feel
gonna
like
be
that's 3 Tarbh now, right?
if we're gonna be super
I missed
savvy,
2.
Thalia should be recognizing this is a shot that keeps hitting him. And we'll start seeing some kind of adjustment here.
I was trying.
Yeah, it's just like general awkwardness. Okay, these guys are out of Wichita, not Independence. There's just a lot of natural awkwardness that new fighters have when it comes to balance and how to maintain it. Like, just 101 footwork not to do. And like I know that it's also awkward when you're posted and you gotta step across. But like this is never where we want to be. If we're back here, if we're back here and we want to step over and end up here, we need to turn our toe out and step in a straight line past it, not actually step across your toes, because regardless of what happens from here, success or not, then there's no way to move out, especially posted as we are.
Stop it. I was trying. You're not gonna win the high cross fight with the bigger guy.
4 Tarbh.
I'll dispute that. Let's back this up. I want to hear this again so I can argue with it.
You're not gonna win the high cross fight with the bigger guy.
I would like you to ask David in Tulsa. He's many inches taller than me. He's like half a foot taller than me. I win the high cross fight with him pretty often. You just got to throw the cross even higher behind your head.
4 Tarbh.
Okay, so let's talk about. I do want to offer some advice for Thalia here because I believe he was mentioning wanting to get some feedback. This is going to get you punished more often than it's going to help you. Having this sword up nice and high definitely makes you look a bit more like a badass, but you're super limited in where you can option out of this, right? Like, we got a sick linear stab, we can go down from here, but we're also like kind of hiding a lot of our range, but I don't think that's an intentional bait or anything. There's a reason you see most people hold their weapons in some area or like right in here, unless they're trying to be real tricky.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. Also, I believe stuff like, this is a better form shot from Thalia here, but look at how we have to go from here to cocking back and then being able to throw. Whereas if we had already been cocked back, we'd be fine. We're still seeing basically no attempt to really cover the forearm here from Tarbh.
Oh, yep.
This is a situation where, like, that rolling over just midline high cross is super rough. It's hard to land like a lot with it. However, if we would just maybe work on chopping instead, just chopping straight down
Tarbh.
instead of high crossing.
Alright, 1st to 5, round 2.
Might be able to get there instead.
Lay on.
Pick off Tarbh's forearm for free. I believe Tarbh's actually fighting with a strap. Could have gotten that wrong.
1 Tarbh.
Leg arm, good movement around.
Two Tarbh.
Also, shoe check. I know these exact shoes. I own these exact shoes. These shoes don't have laces, I don't think. Am I tripping? Yeah, right? Like, my homie out here fighting in loafers. Get you some tennis shoes, man.
What the heck happened there?
Reset because I have no idea.
Yeah, weird, gross clash.
And I think I really just glanced off of it. I'm not sure.
Tarbh choked up on his big old bat. Didn't know how to make the best use of it. So it's like Thalia it's always hard to really talk about what new fighters really should be focusing on because there's like multiple awkward things happening, right? Like, we're having some occasionally really strange footwork. We're really tight together. Again, our hand is really far back in a position where all we can really do is thrust out. Everything else is going to require us to cock first. So really, I think one of the things I think will help a whole lot is making sure that foam fighting is not the only athletic thing you're doing. Like get into jogging or get into the gym. Do something else where you're going to build up just your general hand-eye coordination. One thing that I did a lot whenever I first started fighting and do even still to this day a good bit, just practice moving in your guard. Get set into a good guard and then practice just moving. Not crossing your feet, keeping a good spacing with your feet.
Oh, you got back.
These are just dump shots. What I mean by dump shots, the way I define it is that these aren't really trying to accomplish anything in them of themselves. Like, they are, well, they're throwaway shots that are just not like, they're not trying to be lethal. They're just trying to set something else up, and I have no idea what it is. Like, you know, Tarbh the whole way here, coming in. Like, why would you hit the shield? Because, like, it seems like he goes for a leg shot here. Well, he's in range for the leg shot for so long. Like, any of those shots could have been leg shots. Instead, Tarbh literally walks himself in too close to be effective and gets hit with a little tiny back wrap. Almost gets enough shield on it to kill the significant force, but
You got back.
good to pick that up
2
there.
Tarbh, 1 Thalia.
Well, that rap felt a little greedy, I'm not gonna lie.
Good. So this is exactly what I mean by throwing shots with intent, throwing things that are mindful and set up. I'm really glad we got this here to contrast. So,
Well, that rap felt a little greedy, I'm not gonna lie.
we train our opponent to think, I like leg shots, this little micro interaction. Reset back into guard. Throw the tiniest motion. Really, the sword isn't moving all that much. We're selling that we're going to go low by our shoulder dropping and leaning over to the side. And that whole time we're moving in, then when Thalia overcommits to block the leg, the back's right there. That's a good setup and good shot.
3 Tarbh, 1 Thalia.
Got back. Time off.
Kind of a grody interaction again. And just the awkwardness of like, look at how awkward it is to have this sword parallel to the ground. As we move forward through time, we kind of do this like push forward, hand rolls over. There's not a lot of force on that shot. That shot's not going to go anywhere like, you know, anywhere nice. There's some bumping and grinding in the middle. Looks like we maybe get a little bit of contact on both bodies there at the end.
Time off.
Doesn't count. Torch points. 3-1.
Again, just throwing this like super cold. Like, throw a leg shot first. Throw some kind of fake. And also, I don't think you want to throw it backhand. I think you want to throw it overhand. Okay, clean leg. Yeah. That's just like so much of what these really long weapons are good for. I mean, just like general lack of, I think that getting into the gym and just moving a little bit, going for some jogs, just stretching, because like we have some very heavy feet going on here, very heavily planted all the time. And it just makes it so hard to have any kind of move. It doesn't matter how hard you twist your butt there, you're not going to get out of the way of that bat. You either got to move your feet or move your shield, and ideally move your feet so you're never there to begin with.
4-1.
Very light for DAG, it looks like, but sure. Okay, that had a little bit of pop to it. I always like looking very hard at how people throw their dark sides. So we're coming here. And again, backhanding. I guess this is smoother. I like to throw mine when I come under, and I will go up more vertical here and chop back down. This is fine. It just looks like it might not have enough contact for some people to call it. So that's the end of our video here. I think as far as general takeaways go, I think that Tarbh would be really well served by focusing on setting up those shots a little bit, especially that crazy like circling feint for the shoulder. Just set it up a little bit with some other low quadrant shots. Just fake a couple of legs or fake like you're going to go for a butt wrap and then set it up. Try that. Use your shield a bit more proactively to guard that hand. You're reaching really far all the time. And that might be good. You might be able to snipe a lot of people, but if you don't, if you ever run across people who you can't just snipe that way, then you're going to be really in trouble and exposed. For Thalia here, I recommend just getting into a general kind of like fitness routine. Make sure that foam fighting isn't the only thing you're doing to work on your just cardio, strength, and coordination. Uh, really practice. It's kind of like an extreme exercise to go to when you're new, but just things like agility ladders, stuff like that. Um, Work on getting into your guard and then just moving. Like get Tarbh or Rum and just like move around and try to stay confident in your feet. Look up the. I'll pull it up right now. Let's see. SKBC 2024 Footwork. Is it gonna be impossible to find? I don't know. Shoot me a message and I'll see if I can find the. What is this? Interesting. We'll see if we can find it. But the footwork class from SKBC would be really good to watch there. Learn a lot about that. Also, just pump SKBC into YouTube and watch things. But yeah, work on keeping that shield nice and high, limiting your movement with it. Whatever guard you use when you fight single weapon, when you have like if you're fighting single with your sword like out in front of you, ready to fight, make that also where you hold your where you hold your sword while you're fighting shield. Kind of knock it off with the like pointing your point at people because it's making you have to come back before you can strike. Or if you're already in a nice good position, you're already like cocked or half cocked, it's very easy to throw immediately and respond. But yeah, if you have any more specific questions, feel free to shoot them to me. And other than that, I'm going to go ahead and cut the recording.